Hi everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well. Welcome to the Citizen channel, one of our regular features, up to episode 8 now, so we're going along quite nicely. Of course, it's the One City show where we have a look at a little vlog magazine about City on the media, social media, the newspapers. I try to ignore things like transfer rumours and stuff like that. I mean, obviously we've had Haaland and Kane linked with us, etc, etc. But yeah, I think 99.9% of that's all guff and rubbish anyway. So I try not to look at stuff like the transfers. I'll leave other people to do that. Just have a quick look at what you might have missed. You might have seen some of this. Please forgive me if you've already seen it. But it's just some good stuff from fans, etc, from the media. Of course, the good, the bad, the interesting, the entertaining. I don't think there's any real ugly this week. The good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't think there's any ugly as such. Obviously, the usual tripe from the press. A couple of things I've just pointed out, which I'm not going to go into great shakes about. But yeah, it's our little regular look back anyway at what's going on in city media. So please join me for that. Please, if you're new to this channel, please push that subscribe button. I do all these city vlogs, city past, city present. Try to mix it up. Loads of different things. Quizzes, information blogs, moments in time, horrible histories, loads of stuff. Please, if you've not pushed that subscribe button, please do so. That'd be fantastic. And of course, if you've got any city supporting friends, please point them in my direction. I'll be very, very grateful. Please check the playlist for all the city stuff, and you will notice a good sprinkling, probably about 60% city time. I spend about 40% on film and TV. So I have a little film and TV channel as well with movie reviews, TV drama reviews, information vlogs as well, stuff like that. The cinemas are reopening hopefully in a couple of months. I'll be doing cinema releases as well as my out to buy releases, stuff like that. So if that's of any interest, have a look. If you know anyone else who might be interested, please point them in my direction. I would be very, very grateful. But if you're not that bothered, I mean, I do like to have a rest from football. Sometimes it's good to watch a good film or a good TV drama, isn't it? But if you're not that bothered, plenty of football, so stick with me. If you want any followers or friends on Facebook and Twitter, please check out my links. I do check every 3 and 4 days and follow and friend everyone back, and I post loads of stuff on there and repost stuff on there as well. So all comments welcome on City, of course. Anything you want to comment, fantastic. I've got my regulars, all new subscribers and commenters, very, very welcome. And please, if you don't have time to comment at the moment, just give us a little thumbs up. So if you do like what we try and do here, so that is much appreciated by me as well. Right, on to some city images that were appeared. Some you might have seen, some you might have not have seen. Some are old ones that have suddenly reappeared, or I may have missed them, etc, etc. So we're going to start with a Kelly Gilder, at Kelly Gilder. Yeah, an interesting thing. We had a World Book Day back on the, I think it was 12th of March. We've gone back a few days with this one now. I think I did the last one of these about the 10th of March. And yeah, I think there's some images up screen there of I assume that's the sun. I'm not too sure, but there's only one person who's going to dress up as to go into school on World Book Day. That is absolutely fantastic. As I couldn't tell them apart. I think separated at birth, those two, aren't they? Pep and that young man are fantastic. I had to give a shout out for that. You may have noticed that or seen it, but I don't think I wanted to go past this vlog without showing that image. Is fantastic. Well done Kelly Gilder. Well done to the young man. Pep's #1 fan. Well done you. City on a card. Yes, we do show a lot of their stuff. Obviously some great old stuff, some memorabilia on City on a card, at City on a Card 1. And of course, they got the Manchester Evening News pink final cards. We all used to love the Manchester Evening News pink final, didn't we? Fantastic. Used to go and queue outside the news agents and wait for it to come in after the football. When City were at home, I used to do it. I used to get home from the match and then go run across and get the paper for my dad and for myself. I used to enjoy reading it. And obviously, when City were away, even more importantly, you know, you never used to get a full match report, though, did you? You used to sort of end about 2/3 of the way through the game or 3/4 of the way through the game. But yeah, some great images there of some pink final cards, circa 1975. So some players from there, some great images from the pink final card collection. I haven't got any of those. It's the sort of thing I'll have to keep an eye out on memorabilia, but it would cost a little fortune to buy some of them, I think, at the moment. So I probably haven't got enough pennies to do that. But even if I bought 1 or 2 cards, which I do, as you know, if you watch my Not Got Now Got, the Found World stuff there, you'll see I do stuff like that anyway. But great image there from City on a card. Andy Ragg, we'll go back to him later on, at Andy Ragg 3. Yeah, it was an interesting piece. Obviously, Gary James, obviously, I bow down to Gary James. He knows more. He's forgotten more about City history than I'll ever probably remember, to be honest with you. But yeah, he was talking about a piece on the European tours by City pre-World War II. And Andy Ragg shared just a couple of images that, from his best mate, some pieces of memorabilia, including the captain's armband there with the swastika on of the German 11 who played City in 1937. Of course, we know history of City though, have we? When the City champions, then champions, went over to play the German teams. Obviously, the itinerary is also up there of that period. So a sort of great image of that is up there as well. So yeah, obviously he was asking Gary if he was interested in chatting with his mate, which I'm sure Gary was, and I think he did answer him and say he'd love to, but he was very interested in the armband especially, which is fantastic. But I like it, I love it, that's part of history, isn't it? I mean, I remember a game called Escape from Colditz, and they changed the cover, they took the swastika off, I do remember. I personally went out and rebought the old copy with the swastika on, because that's just part of history, in my opinion. It should be there, it's whether good or bad. That's just part of the history, and that armband really impressed me as well with that. That's fantastic. How much you would have to pay for something like that, I have no idea, but a great image anyway. Thanks to Andy Ragg for that. Yeah, and there's a great image. This probably did appear a couple of years ago, obviously, when we had all these trophies in our possession. But obviously it was from Egypt, and I'd never seen it before. I hadn't seen the 4 trophies. I didn't even get photographed myself with the 4 trophies. I did try and get down to do it once, but they only had 2 trophies there, unfortunately, when they did promise to have all 4. But yeah, so I did miss out on that. So I've cheated a little bit there. I was over near the pyramids a few years back with my youngest daughter Sarah. So I had a bit of a play around with that as well. So there's the original image plus a little image I posted where obviously I've photoshopped myself into the image, because I was near the pyramid. But obviously a few years before, if I knew then what we know now, it'd be amazing, wouldn't it? But that was a great image. I'm not sure. My apologies to whoever put the image on the internet. I can't remember who it was, but I thought I didn't really want to go past without republishing that image. It's a fantastic image. One of the best images I've seen of the 4 trophies. I mean, I've seen some good ones. Perhaps next time I'll get on one when we do it again. Yeah, Don Grant, obviously I feature Don Grant all the time, don't we? Some of his fantastic artwork. I've even got something in the back up there. I won't say what it is of Don Grant's, but he does notice it. He does mention it occasionally when he's watched my vlogs. But yeah, he's done a little painting there of Mr. Silver, hasn't he? Fantastic stuff, absolutely brilliant. And he has suggested if you'd like a print, just contact him. He's got prints of this at dongrant2003@hotmail.com. So if you're any interested in that, or loads of other City stuff, of course, and not just City stuff, he does other things as well. He's got many more City players prints for sale, so he can post direct to you. So if you want some artwork for your den or your office or whatever it is, your City, or you're a bit like me, I say I've got half of my rooms City and the other half's films. So yeah, if you watch my film and TV channel, you'll see the difference between half and half that I have. So yeah, Mr. Don Grant, a fantastic image of El Mago, isn't it there? So keep your eye out for that. Yeah, the Kipak steps at G Dad's Army. Yeah, great pic there of the Kipaks. I mean, obviously it's done from the, looks like the camera stanchion, doesn't it, where they used to have the cameras at the game. I believe it's a Leeds United game in 1993, a 1-1 draw, I think someone said it was. But that's a great picture. And just about, if you've got good eyes, which I probably haven't, you can just about make the toast rack out in the distance. That's fantastic. So I think it's still there, isn't it? It used to be a chef's school, didn't it? I actually played and got set. We all walked off playing rugby for our high school at we played. I used to go to Pars Wood, and we actually played Manchester Grammar School rugby. We were absolutely tearing them apart, tearing them a new one we were at the time. But they sent off our captain, saying he was a bit rough. The referee, he was obviously one of their teachers, so we all walked off the pitch and refused to play the game. But we got into a bit of trouble for that after on Monday at assembly at school. But we were rebellious in those days. But yeah, that was a toast rack, as I say. Manchester Grammar School used to be situated very close by to that, and obviously I've good memories of the toast. I used to pass it all the time. I used to live in Withington, of course. Well, that's it. Anyway, I'm digressed on. So that's a great image, isn't it, of the actual main stand roof, etc., and looking out over into the distance. So that's the Kipak steps. A great image there from G Dad's Army. And birthday cakes. We like to feature the odd birthday cake, don't we? I think Big Lou deep blue at big_L_79 celebrated his 42nd birthday. So we obviously belated birthday, mate. I mean, I'm doing this a few days after now, but yeah, not just City, but beer and dogs. What more can, well, anyone who likes dogs, I don't mind dogs, but I don't particularly have one myself. But yeah, so you got City, beer and dogs there on the birthday, but that's a fantastic bit. Plenty there, yeah, plenty enough to go around. I mean, there's only a couple of you. It'll keep you fed for a year, that, wouldn't it? Anyway, that's the images. Just a quick look at what the papers say. As I say, I don't go into any great depth because I don't believe half the rubbish. But my thanks to Mark McLaughlin at Chartered Tax, who obviously pointed out that one of our friends, Oliver Holt, of course, the Daily Mail star reporter, who still likes to get his digs in, not even when it's unnecessary. We see this all the time in publications, don't we, where you know, they're just doing a brief description on a City game and they'll have something derogatory in, and that's just how they do it. But he did notice. He did comment, Mark, that's a clever ploy at Ollie Holt 22. Preface a bog standard bang average match report with a controversial tweet. Classic clickbait, well done. And obviously he tweeted, Manchester City march on. They did this on March the 20th, Ollie Holt. Dispatching the romance of the cup on the way. So there you go. We're ruining the cup as well. But I mean, it's just pathetic, isn't it? Oliver Holt, grow up, mate. You're like a big... How old are you? I have no idea how old you are, but you know what? Your age, not your shoe size, mate. Absolutely wasted time. The very, very, very worst of reports. No matter what club he's talking about, it's absolutely disgraceful. So, and all it was a match report from Goodison Park. So obviously it was just a match report on an FA Cup quarter-final. But he had to get his digging, didn't he? He's absolutely pathetic. Yeah, Sport Witness reported. I mean, they're not much. I mean, obviously they reported on Manchester City flop. I mean, you may have read this yourself. Robinho was sentenced to 9 years in prison for a role in a gang rape. They went on to say the former Real Madrid, AC Milan and Manchester City star. Well, you can't be a flop and a star, mate. Make your minds up. Robinho has had a 9-year sentence for his role in a gang rape, which was a little bit ago, at an Italian nightclub in 2013, upheld at Milan's Court of Appeal. So that's what it is. But there we go. Former Manchester City star Robinho has been sentenced to 9 years for his role in a gang rape. Well, you know, but obviously initially they said, what did they say initially? Man City flop Robinho and all of a sudden become Man City star. But hey, there you go. That's just typical reporting. Did he play for others as much as all the other teams he played for? Absolutely not. But that doesn't matter, does it? But don't never let the truth come in, you know, a good story. Never let the truth get in the way of a good story. And an interesting one in the Glasgow Times. It did make me laugh a little bit. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who the reporter is on the Glasgow Times, but apparently Liverpool great Steve McManaman obviously believes that Rangers manager Steven Gerrard could move to Manchester City or Spurs before returning to Anfield. Not in a million years, mate, will we come in, all right? You know, I think back to Steve Coppell, but surely not in a million years would we have Steven Gerrard at Main Road, Etihad. But absolutely not a cat in hell's chance. But an interesting, obviously, Steve McManaman, font of all knowledge, isn't he, obviously? But there you go. It did make me smile. Yeah, and on the City website, yeah, a couple of great articles. We've got I Never Wanted to Leave. So this, you don't have to be a Plus member. This is on mcfc.co.uk site. I Never Wanted to Leave. Of course, it's Ian Bishop says having to leave City was the hardest moment of his playing career. So a great piece on the whys and wherefores of Ian Bishop. Obviously, it's on the City site. Perhaps he's toned it down a little bit. I'm not too sure. But if you want to read that, that's on the mcfc.co.uk. And also the wonderful, fantastic Blackburn 2000, a feature on that, the Kings of the Hill 20th anniversary article. So there you go. Sorry. So that's more on that. Remember the old fans on the hill there. I didn't go to that one. I couldn't get a ticket for that one. I wasn't going to go and just hopefully get a glimpse of it. So I did stay at home for that one. But yeah, a great day, and many, many, many thousands of City fans loved it. And I'm such a shame, you know, you look back on it and you wish you had gone now in one way or the other. But there you go. Of course, a couple of weeks ago now, but Ilkay Gundogan became the first ever City player to win back-to-back Premier League Player of the Month awards. That's absolutely fantastic. So it is an achievement. I didn't want to pass, even though I say it's a few days ago now, but I thought it's such an achievement. It's never been done before, which is no surprise. You know, no one's got any love for City out there, whether it's the Premier League or the newspapers, have they? But there you go. Some upcoming City games for the EDS Academy and the women. Of course, the women are in action on the 24th of March, or the day after I'm recording this, at Barcelona, or the day you're watching this. Of course, it's 11:30 AM kickoff. So hopefully I've got this out and you've watched this before then. Our time, 11:30 PM, and that's on City Plus, but you do have to be a subscriber, of course. And then that's followed on Saturday, 27th of March, at home to Reading in the Women's Super League with a 5:30 kickoff. City EDS in action again a little while away. 9th of April at home to Liverpool. Again, that will be on City Plus, so you do have to subscribe. That's a 7 PM kickoff. The under 18s in the Premier League for the youth, for the youngsters, away at Burnley on the 3rd of April at 1 PM. But on the same day, obviously the youth team are at home to Everton in the FA Youth Cup with a 7 PM kickoff. So there's a couple of great games, but as far as I can see, they're not being shown anywhere, unfortunately. Out and about on social media, yeah, just 3 or 4 items to have a quick look at. Yeah, Glenn Hoddle, I mean, another font of all knowledge, isn't he? I don't really take that much interest in him unless he's coming up with something positive, which occasionally he does, and he has praised the improvement of John Stones, so we can't misjudge that. That he's correct there. That John Stones has made at Manchester City this season. He says, Glenn Hoddle says, he has become the best centre-back in the Premier League. I don't think many of us, I mean, everyone goes on about Diaz. I think of the two, Stones has sort of moved a level above Diaz, to be honest with you, but I love them both together. I think they're a great partnership. Obviously, Glenn Hoddle. You can catch up with this stuff on the Glenn Hoddle Footy Show podcast. There you go. It's not something all right, I'll give him a promo here, but it's not something I'll be bothering about, to be honest with you. But yeah, at least Glenn Hoddle has seen a little bit of sense. I mean, he'll probably go back to his old rubbishy self. But yeah, I mean, all right, Glenn, it took you a while. It took us, I mean, we know it. Thankfully Glenn Hoddle now knows it as well. Perhaps when he does one of these co-commentator things, he'll be a bit nicer. Who knows? And back to Andy Ragg. I did say we'd have another Andy Ragg thing, didn't we? I've not checked this, but he published this a couple of weeks ago at Andy Ragg 3. 10,000 Blues will be able to attend the final EPL match at the Etihad versus Everton for the trophy lift. I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, we don't want to tempt fate. Now comes the hard part. Who gets to go? Well, yeah, 10,000. It's going to be a lottery, I assume, isn't it? But how many of those are actually going to go to people without being in a lottery? That's what's the worrying thing. I think of the 2,000 that were allowed into certain games. Was it like 500 went to sort of sponsors and, you know, to various outlets rather than the fans? So, say on that basis, that was a quarter, wasn't it? So what, 2,500 going to go to people who got money and can pay, you know, sponsored City and connected with the club in some way like that? I don't know, but 10,000, I'd be happier if it was the full 50,000 could go in the Etihad, to be honest with you. But there you go. That's yeah, it is a bit sad. It'd be nice to see some in there, but as I say, how the whys and wherefores, I don't know. I've had my first jab now. I hope that's a positive. Obviously, by the time May comes round, most people, I would assume, who want it would have had the jab by then anyway. And obviously, I don't have my second jab till June, so I have no idea how that affects things. But anyway, it's nice to see some will be back. But hey, let's all be back hopefully very, very soon. And thinking about the crowds as well, it was reported in the evening news that City will be reducing the capacity of the Etihad by about 1,100 so we could put some bigger advertising boards, some more futuristic advertising boards, because the income that will generate is far in advance of having 1,100 paying spectators in the game. A lot of people commenting on that. Obviously, a lot of people saying, well, we don't fill the seats anyway, which is fair enough. I mean, we don't. I mean, you know, I watch a lot of old City games back. I know when I'm there watching them at the Etihad, obviously they catch times when it's near the end of the game or it's near half time and stuff like that. But yes, but there are empty seats, I can't deny it. I'm a City fan, but when it first was muted that we'd go to 54,000, I did say in a when City asked the question that if we get an average of 50,000, I'd be quite happy. I don't mind a few rattling things, but so this just shows anyway that I don't think the 60,000 expansion's any time soon, to be honest with you. And I think City are just appreciating that they sort of reached the sort of limit of people wanting to go and watch, and certainly with this COVID thing, I honestly think it will reduce a little bit based on what I've heard people saying. So, wise move to create income, absolutely spot on. Potentially, it makes Liverpool's average crowd potentially very close to ours. I mean, we do have about a 1,200-1,300 advantage at the moment, whether we've got empty seats or not. So that's nice to see, isn't it? It's a little dig we can have at them, but obviously we do know, let's face it, if Liverpool had a bigger ground, of course they get bigger crowds. They are a massive club, whether we like it or not, in the same way United are, but there you go. Yeah, so anyway, what do you think about that? I mean, as I said, doesn't really worry me so much. It is a bit disappointing. Of course, I'd love to have a 60,000 ground, but I want real fans to be in there as well, and I want it to be bouncing. But yeah, just a sign of the times. I think we'll get some stick for that. We always do, but we'll get a stick either way, won't we? We'll get a stick if we increase it to 60,000 and only average 57 and 58, as well as getting stick if we knock the crowd off. So we can't win, but an interesting one anyway. And but interesting to see. Yeah, less fans, more income. That's simple as that, isn't it? And we'll just finish with a little bit sad. As just before I came on to do this, I'd learned about the sad passing away, not a City player, not City related, but he was a football legend, former England forward and Bolton and Leicester and Leeds player. Frank Worthington has sadly passed away, age 72. Yeah, I mean, most teams in the 60s, 70s, we had our legends, didn't we? We talk about history and people say about lack of history, but even Bolton Wanderers and teams like, they've got a fantastic history, and he was part of their history. And who could forget that goal he scored against Ipswich, because it was replayed time and time again. It's still, you can go on YouTube now and type in Worthington Wonder Goal or whatever, you'll see it. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, I must have seen that on telly hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. And yeah, it was actually from a Sam Allardyce throw-in. There's a bit of detail on it. Alan Gowling, you may know, actually nodded it on, and Frank Worthington obviously left the Ipswich defenders, who were a good team at Ipswich at the time. Don't forget, this is 1979. They were sort of reaching their peak. Left the Ipswich players flat-footed with an overhead flick, and then obviously just turned and side-footed it past the keeper. I'm not sure if it was Cooper. I'm not sure Cooper in that. I couldn't quite make it out when I watched the YouTube, but it possibly was in 1979. So, and even the referee actually applauded as he ran back to the centre spot. So there you go. I mean, rest in peace, Frank Worthington. But he was, just another one of those legends that all teams seem to have at those times. 23rd of November 1948 to 22nd of March 2021. Yeah, so not City related, but a football legend. Rest in peace. Our best wishes go to his family and friends, of course. Anyway, that's that. Hope you enjoyed that. Please check out my I've done a little recent City history vlog on a game in March 1973 against Arsenal, but a bit more emphasis on Mike SUMMERBEE in it as well. He was playing his 500th game, not for City, but in total of what he played. He was playing, so there's a little piece on that with little things on that. So please check that out, Manchester City history, the 24th of March 1973. So a day or two away as I'm recording this. So obviously the anniversary of that, how many years later? Let me have a look. 48 years later on. So a nice little piece on a little piece on the game itself as well, and what was going on at the time, how much it cost to get to Ipswich. I think it's £2.50 on the train to Ipswich. That wasn't too bad, was it? So please check out that vlog. And of course, I've done a recent, that was a week that was covering the Everton game with some just odd questions thrown in, because we usually do two teams, don't we? But with it being the international break at the moment, I just did a little quiz on Everton plus 4 or 5 general knowledge questions on City and Everton, etc. So please check that out as well if you get a chance. Anyway, thanks for watching. Whatever you're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family. Leave your comments, let me know. We'll see each other very, very soon. Until we meet here again on the Citizen channel, or perhaps have a flit across, please have a look at my film and TV channel. Whatever it is, whenever it is, please, all I ever ask is please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.